a little weak in terms of prep. Just because I think, mental and physical rest is more important after a tournament like that. I feel like my game's in a good spot, so I don't have to go out on the range and feel like I need to figure anything out or figure out anything on the greens or around the greens. I got a good feel for the bunkers, got a good feel for the speed of the greens, and a lot of it is just getting the mind ready to go out and play.
Is there any one thing that you make sure to do for recovery after a tournament, or does it kind of change week to week?
No, I have a routine that I kind of stick to between seeing my trainer and cold tubbing. That's about it. Nothing too crazy.
And I wanted to ask, the birdie record, just PGA Tour sanctioned in general, is 9. It was set 31 years ago by Omar Uresti, fellow Longhorn. But why do you think it is that hasn't been surpassed since then? And could you speak to, I guess, the difficulty of stringing a lot of birdies together and why that has been?
Omar made 9 birdies in a row. Wow. I've never made close to 9 birdies in a row. Well, I mean, why is that record has lasted so long? I mean, I think golf's really difficult, and I think the courses out here, they're only trying to make them more difficult for whatever reason. And 9 birdies in a row, that's some pretty ridiculous golf. I think that's about as close to perfection as you'll probably get in the game of golf. And I don't think that'll be beat anytime soon.
Over to the front left here, Harper Current.
Hi, Scottie. Playing pro-ams like this morning is nothing new to you, obviously, but for the guys you're paired with, it's like the experience of their golfing lives. I'm just wondering what you maybe appreciate about the interactions during those 9 holes. And also, they seem to be pretty decent players from the few holes I watched, but is there something that stands out immediately between, the difference between a pretty good amateur player and a tour player like yourself?
I mean, as far as the interactions go, I think it's always fun. It's good to get out and be able to play the course, and it's fun because they're always in such a good mood and everybody's always on their best behavior, playing inside the ropes, and so you see the best version of people, and we get to go out and have fun and play golf and learn about each other, and it's an exciting time for them, and it's nice for me to be able to get out and practice, and the guys are always really encouraging, and some of our fans too, so it's always fun to get out and get some face-to-face time. And as far as the differences between a high-level amateur and a professional golfer, I think professional golfers, you just have to be so polished and precise in the way you do things. And we get to take all the time in the world that we want to basically come out and practice and prepare and try to perfect this game. Whereas an amateur didn't really get the time. And if I took 3 weeks off golf, I certainly wouldn't look like the player that hopefully you're going to see this week. It's not easy to come out and try to play this game without being prepared, and I'd say that's one of the biggest differences.
Did they ask you for swing tips and stuff like that along the way?
Occasionally, you throw out some green reads and stuff like that. Swing tips, not too often. Most of the time, they're hitting out of the rough anyways, so it can be challenging. But that's probably one of the most interesting things about playing a pro-am is guys are used to playing a certain type of course, and they show up and they're playing on a PGA Tour event, and this would be considered one of the easier setups, and even a 5 to 10 handicap hits in the rough, and they have no idea what to do out of it just because it's so difficult.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Time for a couple more. We'll go in the back to Dave with Golf Week, back left.
Yeah, Scottie, after you won your first major championship, what were some of the things that maybe you didn't anticipate were going to change about the way that you went about your game, and some of the things that maybe you weren't aware that were going to happen that you think now, having won the U.S. Open, JJ might encounter as well, and how you might sort of coach him up on just be ready for this kind of stuff?
Are you talking about just like experience type stuff, or I'm not sure I understand?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. So anything that about the way that your week to week sort of approach to the game, or the demands that were sort of put upon you, all the different requests that come with winning a major championship. Was there anything that you didn't anticipate, or maybe weren't as ready for as you thought you would be, that you would recommend he be ready for?
Well, I think after winning a major championship, like the first time you come back out to the course, I think it's a bit of a circus at times, just with all the people. JJ just achieved kind of a lifetime goal and dream of his, and it's definitely different coming to the golf course for sure. There's a lot more people, there's a lot more stuff to sign, there's a lot more stuff that goes on. I think I saw JJ take a little trip to New York too, so he's probably going to come in here a little bit winded, but props to him. He earned it, he deserved it, and he has every right to go there and do that. And I just think it'll be a bit of a different experience for him. There's just more stuff that goes on, and it's all good things. It's all stuff that's fun. He'll certainly be sitting in here in the interview room a lot more than he has in the past, and having that experience on your belt of winning the tournament, and that's probably some of the most pressure that he's felt in his entire career, and he stepped up and hit some amazing shots down the stretch, birdie in 17, 18. And so having that confidence and that experience going forward is going to serve him really well, knowing not only knowing that he can perform under the biggest pressure, but now he knows exactly what that feels like. And when he can go practice at home, now you're preparing, knowing exactly how you feel in those scenarios. That was one of the biggest things I think I learned after the Ryder Cup, was having that experience and then knowing what it feels like under pressure, and then have the ability to go home and then prepare for that.
Cool. And last year, 22 under par got you into a playoff. I mean, 22 under par didn't even win. Is this course, given it's the last signature event on the PGA Tour for the season, is this course too easy?
You know, golf's funny in that sense. I think people when they watch golf, it's not like other sports where you want us to look like y'all when we play golf. I think it's just kind of one of those funny things. It's like you watch the NBA and you're like, man, I wish they couldn't dunk. You know, I wish they were scoring less. I wish their shooting percentage was lower on 3-pointers. And like if you watch tennis, you're like, man, I wish the ball was going slower so they look like, you know, me out there playing tennis. It's not like that. You know, as much as some people want us to feel like them, you know, professional golf is different than amateur golf. You know, we get a lot of time to prepare, to go out and play, and the guys out here are really good at golf. Like if you stand there on the driving range and you watch a range session, that ball doesn't go offline very often. And I think sometimes, especially in this day and age, people get way too caught up in the winning score being what is a proper test. I think a proper test is good shots being rewarded and bad shots being punished. I think this is one of the best golf courses for that. There's opportunity out there. And there's also punishment. Like you look at the closing stretch. 15, if you hit a good shot, you got a birdie opportunity. If you try and bail out right, you're going to be a bunker short right of the green. You're going to have a 40-yard bunker shot. It's a hard shot. 16, if you hit a good shot, you're going to have a good look at birdie. If you bail out and go long, it's a tough chip down the hill. 17, if you hit the fairway, you're going to have a chance to hit in there close to the pin. If you hit in the left rough, you probably can't get to the green. I mean, that's what we look for in golf courses. In terms of, you want good shots to be rewarded and bad shots to be punished. It's as simple as that. And the winning score, I think people get way too caught up in. And I'm not saying necessarily that even par is a bad winning score. Like some weeks like the U.S. Open, you hit 2 great shots and you're going to get rewarded with a par. And that's fine. I think that's good too. I think across the board, the way we get tested in professional golf is very good. I think we play different types of golf courses. We play different types of grass. We play different types of winning scores. We just see different tests, and I think not one is better than the other. But the most frustrating thing for me when I play a golf tournament is when you see good shots not getting rewarded and bad shots not being punished properly. That's really all we look for. And so, do I care that 22 under wins this week? No. Like, I played good last year, and if they somehow change it to 12 under by making the pins in silly spots and doing stuff to trick up the golf course, what we want is a fair test. And I think having birdies at the end sometimes is a pretty exciting finish. I mean, that's really all there is to it.
Appreciate the time as always, Scottie. Good luck this week.
Yep, thanks.
All right.